Welcome back, family. Peace and love to everyone tuning in. If this is your first time here, you're in for a real eye opener. This is The Hope, helping our people elevate, where we uncover the hidden truths of history and expose the forces that shaped our reality. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our deep dives. In today's video, we're peeling back the curtains on the power of France, from the reign of King Louis XIV to the manipulation of reality by figures like Duke of Orleans, Louis Philippe II, and François Bernier. What you have been told may not be the whole story. Let's expose the truth. Peace and love, family.
On behalf of Akuno Sankofa Bay, you know what I'm saying? Jay, where you at? We're trying to help our people elevate. Hope. H-O-P-E. We're giving them hope. We doing what we gotta do, you know. Every day, one step at a time, man. We gonna make it happen. Helping our people elevate. Sometimes I practice focus, thought, and meditate. I'm trying to come with other ways to help our people elevate. And seeking knowledge make me levitate. The lifted mental state is what results from how we orchestrate. This for the family's sake. Let's self-reflect and self-evaluate. And every day make sure the steps you take, you calculate. Receive a master's fate. I know I can't exist without the hate, but that's okay. I balance that with higher self today. Success is on this way, and after that my flesh can pass away.
Have you ever stopped and wondered how certain cities, towns, and entire states got their name, and who decided what it would be called? History tells us that the conqueror, the one who wins the battle, named the land. They rewrite the reality, shaping not just the borders, but the very identity of the place. France, a nation built on power, war, and manipulation, has played this game masterfully. From François Bernier, King Louis XIV, to the Duke of Orleans, Louis Philippe II, they didn't just rule, they controlled the narrative. Today we're diving into the power that France had to shape the history of the world. In reality, let's get into it. Louisiana was named after King Louis XIV, King of France from 1643 to 1715. The name was given to the territory by the French explorer René Robert Cavelier in 1683. Cavelier descended the Mississippi River from the Great Lake and claimed the territory for France. The suffix "ana" is a Latin suffix that can refer to the information relating to a particular individual, subject, or place. The Louisiana Purchase would later form all or parts of the 15 states and 2 Canadian provinces. New Orleans was named after Philippe II, Duke of Orleans, who was the regent of France from 1715 to 1723. The French explorer Jean-Baptiste Monde de Belleville named the city in 1718. The original French name for New Orleans was La Nouvelle Orleans. The French chose the name to encourage French settlers to come to the city. The city was founded as a port transshipment for trade from the Mississippi River Valley. Philip II, Duke of Orleans, was the nephew of King Louis and served on the region of France after Louis' death in 1715. Louis Philippe II, Duke of Orleans, 1747-1793, was a French noble of royal blood. He was the head of the House of Orleans, a cadet branch of the Royal Bourbon dynasty, and a cousin of King Louis XV of France, 1774 to 1792. Despite this, Orleans supported the French Revolution of 1789 to 1799 and voted for Louis XV's execution in 1793. Through marriage and inheritance, Orleans was one of the richest men in France. He used his riches to renovate his royal palace, his Paris residence, which he then opened as a public forum for all French citizens, no matter their social status. It was in all the cafes and gardens of the Palace Royal that the French revolutionaries often met, sharing their visions of a better France. Orleans expressed support for a weakened constitutional monarchy and took an active role in revolutionary politics, even becoming a member of the Radical Jacobin Club. After the abolition of the monarchy in 1792, he relinquished his noble title and adopted the name Philippe Egalité. His popularity did not last, as he was met with scorn when he voted to execute his cousin, Louis XV, a move that came off dishonorable and opportunistic. Born on September 5, 1638, to King Louis XIII of France and his Habsburg queen, Anna of Austria, the future Louis XIV was his parents' first child after 23 years of marriage. In recognition to the apparent miracle, he was christened Louis Duande, meaning gift of God. A younger brother, Philip, followed 2 years later. When his father died on May 14, 1643, a 4-year-old Louis inherited the crown of a fractured, unstable, and nearly insolvent France. The Code Noir was a set of laws that regulated slavery in the French Empire issued by King Louis XIV in 1685. The Code Noir, which means Black Code in French, was in effect until the French Revolution of 1789. The Code Noir defined the conditions of slavery, including how to pass the condition of slavery from mother to child. The Code Noir was enforced by French authorities in the Louisiana Territory. It was also used to justify and regulate slavery during the French and Spanish rule of St. Louis. The Code Noir was a combination of Roman law principles and French Caribbean legal customs. Slaves could not carry weapons without permission from their masters except for hunting. Slaves could not gather in groups regardless of whether they belonged to different masters. Slaves could not sell certain commodities without permission from their masters. There's 54 articles in these black codes or Code Noir, So if we analyze this word color from the legal perspective, it is an appearance similar to solar cum as distinguished from that which is real. When we deal with the code noir, we're going to get into François Bernier. This is right on time. This is from a lesson that I did in another class a while back. But we're talking about a live plant versus an artificial plant. So when you identify as a color, like I said, get your law dictionary, look up the word color. When you deal with the word color, whether you call yourself black, white, red, yellow, brown, it don't matter. François Bernier, 1684, New Division of the Earth. We're going to jump into that next. When you identify yourself as a color, you're identifying yourself as an artificial plant versus being a live plant, which is rooted in soil governed by laws of nature. So like I say, François Bernier's New Division of the Earth, we're going to get into that, but he cut the root of that live plant and made it an artificial plant. François Bernier was a French physician and traveler. He was born in Anjou, France. In 1684, French physician and traveler François Bernier published an essay that divided humanity into 4 races based on physical traits. Bernier's essay was likely the first attempt to systematically classify the world's population by race. So the whole concept of race came from François Bernier. Before 1684, no one on the planet identified under black and white. Bernier's race classification had a political message. At the time, races were distinguished by skin color, facial type, cranial profile and amount, texture, and hair color. I also want to say France wasn't just expanding its power, it was also struggling to hold on to it. While dealing with internal financial chaos and revolution at home, France was also losing its grip in its overseas territories. The Haitian Revolution, led by enslaved Africans or indigenous Moors, completely shattered their control of the Caribbeans. Without Haiti's wealth, keeping Louisiana was pointless. So in 1803, they made a desperate move, selling 15 states worth of land to the U.S. in what we now know as the Louisiana Purchase.